What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another MMA YouTube video. Today we got the matchmaking for the Rountree Hill card that just happened, Baku, Azerbaijan. It was a pretty bad card, but we do actually have some really interesting matchups that I'm really excited to get into. Kind of throughout the video, of course, the last two matchups, or the top heavy matchups were in the thumbnail, but there's actually a bunch more. Promise. It's going to be a good one. Even if the card wasn't great. So let's get right into it with Azat Maksum. Lost a actually close fight to Tagir, a fight that I didn't really expect to be close. I know that's kind of how it is at flyweight, like fights are just close, they just are. But yeah, Maksum looked good. He's kind of back, right? He hadn't fought in forever when he fought since he fought Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson's fought probably like 5 times since then. But yeah, I don't know. He looked good. He looked solid. He made it a really close fight with a guy who was top 12 in Tagir Ulanbekov, and who was solid in Tagir Ulanbekov. So, I just tried to fucking change the slide and it didn't work. Dude! Okay, Clayton Carpenter, alright? This guy, I want to say, lost to Tagir in January. He did. He definitely lost to Tagir in January. And it was also a close fight. It was a pretty competitive fight. And yeah, I don't know. I just think this is a very common form of UFC matchmaking, right? Where they take two guys who lost to the same guy in like a close period of time, and they have them fight each other, or the vice versa, where they take two guys who beat the same guy in a short period of time and have them fight each other. And this also just makes sense, style-wise, ranking-wise, all that shit-wise. It's gonna be a good, fun little flyweight fight, where everybody's good. All right, Tagir Ulanbekov. Looks like he's maybe declining a little bit. I'm not going to lie. He's had 2 really close fights with Clayton Carpenter and Azat Maksum. It was closer with Azat Maksum, but still. I don't know. He just hasn't looked great. The inactivity before these 2 fights has probably caught up to him, and maybe that's why he's getting so active, is because he realizes he might be losing what little of his prime he has left. So this matchup... Dude, the funny thing... Look, this is a good matchup. This is a fun matchup. This is a good stylistic matchup. But you know this fight isn't happening. Like, that's the fight. You just know for an absolute fact this fight is not gonna happen. One of them's gonna pull out. One of them's gonna miss weight. So, dude, this fight's not happening. But that's kind of why I imagined it. I just thought it was fucking funny. It's basically just a wasted slot on a card, or just a Jafel Filio short notice step in or some shit, But I don't know, man. It's a good stylistic matchup. They're both managed by Ali Abdelaziz, so it would probably be pretty easy to just get together. this fight. All right, let me go to the next one. We got fucking Ismail Nardiev. Nothing funny about this guy. Okay, this fucking guy cheated so much against the Iron Turtle. Still lost. Fucking deserves it. But yeah, I don't know. He's okay. He's solid. I'm actually going to use him as pretty much a damn you better win for Mansour Abdulmalik. Mansour Abdulmalik has fought 2 of the worst guys on the roster in Cody Brundage and Nick Klein, and has looked like shit in both of those fights. I'm giving him one more, tiny step up. That's what it's been so far. It was a tiny step up from Nick Klein to go to Cody Brundage. It was a tiny step up from Cody Brundage to go to Ismail Nardiev. This guy needs a good win against a shit opponent. Both of his wins against these shit opponents has been fucking bad. Nardiev is better. Nardiev, I would say he's mid, not shit, right? He is competent. He has stuff he does in his fighting style, right? He's a solid low-level middleweight fighter, and Mansour Abdulmalik needs to figure it out. He needs to, right? This is kind of how you build prospects who've struggled, right? You don't just go, you struggled against this fucking Can and Nick Klein, and you struggled against Cody Brundage, who's a known kind of guy who's not very good. Here's Iron Turtle. That's not what you do. Here's GM3. These guys who, I know it's a joke because it's middleweight, but these guys are gonna be tough. No. Keep building him up. If at this point, if he's on a 3-fight win streak after he beats Nardiev and he looks like shit in this fight, then whatever. He's probably not going anywhere anytime soon. Feed him to the wolves. But just give him one more chance to look good, to show that he's worth being a prospect in the middleweight division. Maybe he can get it done. Hopefully. Jun Young Park, Mr. Iron Turtle, looked awesome. Classic Iron Turtle. Didn't look great, but it was, whatever. Solid opponent, and he looked good in the win. Fucking got basically KO'd by a ground and knee, and I actually looked okay, so like recovered okay. So that was cool to see. Everybody loves Iron Turtle. It's great to see him in the win column, which I think he already was in the win column. I think he beat Tavares recently, but whatever. Edmund Shabazian, right? These two guys are kind of like in this same tier of middleweight where I feel like there's like 20 middleweights in this same like grouping. Yeah, this is just it's a fun stylistic matchup. Could Jun Young Park just fucking maul him? Yes, but hey, you never know. You never know with middleweight, right? I don't fucking know, man. This is a solid matchup between guys you feel like they fought before, but they actually haven't. Oban Elliott, rough showing, man. I'm not gonna lie. For a guy who's on a 3-fight win streak, like admittedly against low quality competition. This is the thing that was rough with Oban is like, yes, he was on a 3-fight win streak. But it wasn't your average 3-fight win streak where you see that and you go like, damn, he's really on a streak. Like, no, it was like Val Woodburn in your debut, who's really not a UFC level fighter. Like, he's a fucking landscaper, right? Had a rough go of it. Preston Parsons, which is a very, very adequate step up, don't get me wrong, in your second fight from Val Woodburn to Preston Parsons. But then you get your third fight, and it's against Basel Hafez, who we all know what it is with Basel Hafez, right? We knew what it was after the whole JDM fight. And so he beats Basel Hafez, and it's like, oh, so here's Suk Young Ko, a guy making his debut. And so if Suk Young Ko wasn't that good and he won this, he would have been on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC with no quality wins. But it ends up kind of biting him in the ass. You know, we haven't seen him against a high enough level of competition to be confident in his skills. I definitely jumped the gun on him. And he got beat bad. He got fucking ragdolled by a guy who isn't some, like, super credentialed, adequate, really great wrestler. Like, he's a good wrestler and a really well-rounded MMA fighter, but he isn't some guy that's gonna ragdoll people, like whose style would be to ragdoll people. What he did to Oban, man, he ragdolled him, mauled him across 3 rounds, especially in the 3rd round where he just dominated him for pretty much the whole round on top. So yeah, rough showing for Oban. He'll need a bounce back for sure. And that's what okay, that's a mistake. No, that is a mistake. It says winner. It should say loser. The loser of Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith, which is almost definitely going to be Nico Price. He's probably going to be a plus 1,000 underdog in that shit. So pretty much doing Oban Elliott versus Nico Price. I might as well have just put Nico Price's picture here. But I just wanted to, since this is a fight that's happening and there is a chance that Nico Price beats Jacoby Smith, God forbid. I put it there. Should say loser. Whatever. Bounce back. If you can't beat Nico Price as like a young guy in the sport, get the fuck out. Right? So, pretty much just give Oban some time to rest. This fight, actually, don't give him time to rest. This fight happens next week. But actually do give him time to rest because if Nico Price loses, he's probably getting brutally KO'd. So, yeah. I don't know. Just a bounce back for Oban maybe towards the end of the year, beginning of next year. Just give him a rest. Let him get better. Suk Young Ko looks solid, man. This guy is super solid. He had a really good win on the Contender Series against a really good prospect, a guy who's super hyped. He came in as a big underdog, ended up winning. And then, once again, comes as a huge underdog. I think Oban was about minus 500, and he just gets it done. Pillar to post, domination. So, really good look for this guy. Bad look for Oban, but the guy looked good. Suk Young Ko, he looked good. Get some Asian on Asian violence going, all right? We got Li Jingliang, who, to be honest, I don't know if he's ever going to fight again. He had one of the most brutal injuries we've seen in MMA and had a shit ton of back surgery, came back and had one of the most brutal beatdowns we've seen in recent MMA where he got dropped all over the place and slept out cold over the course of 2 rounds. So I don't know if he's fighting again, but if he is, if they go to Korea or China later this year, do this fight. One of these guys will have the hometown. And yeah, it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be fun stylistically. Maybe Leach's takedown defense is totally cooked due to, all those horrible injuries, and this guy will just be able to ragdoll him. But you never, maybe not, and maybe it'll be a really fun striking match on the feet. Because Ko does have a striking bag. Like, he does have striking that he can implement. He's called the Korean Tyson for a reason, right? No, he's not actually that good. But he does have a striking bag. He has a bunch of KOs, so it could be a fun match on the feet. All right. I don't want to talk about this for too long. This fight was fucking terrible. Bogdan Grad versus whatever the fuckers, Muhammad Naimov. Just a shit fight. Let's just get to it. And I'm talking more about Jack Jenkins here than Bogdan Grad. This is pretty much just a bounce back for Jack Jenkins, right? He's had a weird UFC career for a guy who everyone can kind of agree is really, really good and everyone kind of views as like a prospect. He's only 3-2 in the UFC. You know, the one injury loss to Chepe, and the one he kind of got fucked up by Gabriel Santos. You know, he dropped him, but he ended up, you know, just kind of getting wrestle fucked and subbed. He's had a kind of a rough go of it in the UFC. This is just kind of a bounce back. You know, I know they're going to Perth with a fight night probably in September, October, that range. Just put it on there. Bounce back for Jenkins, Bogdangrad. I don't really know. You know, the point of this, like, promotionally, for the Aussie fans who saw Jack Jenkins get dominated like that in the grappling, you can show Bogdangrad have these grappling highlights. You know, he finished Lucas Alexander in the first round with ground and pound, with pure wrestling. He took down and controlled a guy who looks like Muhammad Naimov, who has an OV name. Like, that means something. So if you show that in the promotion, you show him getting these takedowns and shit, you show him as a grappler, and then Jack Jenkins ends up beating the shit out of him, which he probably would, it's like, oh, there's improvement in Jack Jenkins' game, right? That's kind of what we're doing here. So, yeah. Bogdangrad, as far as that goes, who cares? Muhammad Naimov, also, who cares? Just terrible fight. Barely eked it out, and I don't know, man. He's unimpressive. Isaac Dolgarian. All right? Isaac Dolgarian was so fucking good. It was so good. Just, I don't know. Dude! Just talk. All right. He was great. He's a great wrestling prospect. He was like the biggest favorite in UFC history in his last fight, which was months and months ago. Get in the fucking cage, dude. That was almost a year ago. I'm actually worried that he's going to end up as one of these guys who's just a victim of inactivity, which happens a lot in the UFC, right? We saw it happen recently with Sadiq Youssef. We saw it happen recently with Mike Davis. We see it happen all the fucking time in the UFC. It happens all the time where these guys are so inactive and they just end up killing their career. Because maybe it's injuries, whatever, but they age themselves out of their prime and kill their career with inactivity. It happens so often in the UFC. You'd think they'd fight more because of how little they get paid. I guess not. So, yeah, man, I'd like to see this fight pretty soon. I want to see Dolgarian get back in there. I don't want to see a year break, you know, from the Brendan Marat fight where he took no damage. It was one-way traffic against Brendan Marat. He dominated him. And then he hasn't fought, and he probably won't have fought for about a year. I don't get it. Get in the fucking cage, bro. And this is a good matchup for him. Once again, I'm talking more about Dolgarian than Naimov because, like, who cares? But if he just ragdolls a guy who looks like Muhammad Naimov, which I think he will, that's a very good look. So, yeah, he might as well be 3-0 in the UFC right now with that horrible robbery to C-Rod. So, yeah, I think this is a good fight, good step up for Dolgarian and kind of get the ball rolling on his career because if he's going to be this inactive, steps up. No fucking Brendan Marat fights, all right? Step up, step up, step up. We are getting this guy higher and higher level fights as we go because if he's going to be inactive and age himself out of his prime, we might want to get a little bit of it in the rankings because you never know. All right, Nicholas Motta had a bonkers, insane fight with Sadikov. Definitely improved a little, I think, in his defensive responsibility and just like, you know, variation of his boxing game. He's still kind of just a hook merchant, but you know, it was an awesome fight, super fun fight. This dude, he showed so much more toughness than I thought he had. It was just really cool, really fun fight. Happy for Motta. He got an $100,000 bonus along with Sadikov. They got all the bonus money, which is funny. But yeah, winner of Vyacheslav Borshov versus Terrence McKinney. This is a really fun fight that's happening, I believe, on International Fight Week. And yeah, this is a really fun fight, and the winner of this versus Motta is going to be a really fun fight. It's almost a guaranteed either war or KO, so especially if it's McKinney, it's pretty much a guaranteed finish every time, especially against one of these guys. So yeah, I just want to see this fight. This is a really fun idea for a fight, whoever wins. With Vyacheslav Borshov, it might be more of like a, you know, 3-round, you know, one of the guys gets finished late in a boxing war, and then with McKinney, it's probably just going to be a first-round finish either way, so... yeah. Damn. Nazim Sadikov. Now, I was a bit of a Nazim Sadikov hater, and I still am. This guy fucking pisses me off. I don't know what it is about his face, I just don't fucking like it. I don't know what, he just pisses me off a little. And his wins before this were Mickey as hell. But, which I explained in the picks video, if you want me to go through it, I'm not going to go through it. I got fucking matches to make. Alright? I don't know if I said that right. But yeah. Nazim Sadikov looked awesome, though, here. He looked fucking incredible, put on an awesome fight. Finally got just a uncontroversial win that wasn't from a cut, right? He win by KO. Big step down in competition from Ismail Bonfim and from Ismail Bonfim, that's it. But, you know, still. He looked great. All of his wins before this have been controversial, and then he had a draw. You know, he cheated against McKinney, 2 cut TKOs. Kind of really fucking hated this guy. But, hey... Gotta win. Gotta respect it. He's super entertaining. That's one thing. This guy's so entertaining. He either gets finishes or fight of the nights. So, or both most of the time. So, yeah, Orolbai. One fight later against Tafik Musayev. These guys have actually had, like, opposite career trajectories. It's kind of interesting. So, Orolbai, as soon as he gets in the UFC, murderer's row, right? He went through a murderer's row. Debuts against fucking Uros Medic at welterweight. Dominates him. Fight against Brenner. Elvis Brenner, who's very, very good. And then, and it's a rough, just kind of drag him out, very high-paced fight in which he wins. War with Mateusz Rebecki. War, just a brutal war. And ends up losing. Very close fight. And then just destroys Tafik Musayev, who's a really, really good fighter coming from outside of the UFC, in 1 round. This guy is really good. And then it's kind of the opposite for Nazim Sadikov. Like, Nazim Sadikov had Evan Elder in his debut, who's solid. Wins by cut when he was almost definitely going to get KO'd as the fight had gone on. He was going to get finished, but, you know, obviously we can't, you know, never say never, but, or never say definitely, I don't fucking know. But, then he has the war with Slava Klaus, which was awesome, but it was a draw, which he did lose 2 rounds of, and he won with a 10-8 with a really great head kick where he wobbled Slava really bad, but that is what happened. And then cheats against McKinney, just flat out cheats and subs him. Like, there's no way around it. He doesn't get that sub if he doesn't cheat, with fence grabs and shit. So there's that. Just not impressive at all. And then he had the fight against Bonfim, where he was, once again, getting fucked up. Like, he was getting fucked up. He was getting fucked up by Bonfim. Lands a great head kick once again, but then wobbles Bonfim really bad and cuts him open, gets the fight stopped in the corner, but he was getting fucked up. Finally gets a solid win. I'm just hating. Okay, I need to stop. I've been hating on Sadikov for like 2 minutes. All right, Tafik Musayev. I said everything I need to say about that fight. Tafik Musayev. You know, he just drew a rough straw in his debut or whatever. Like, he drew the short straw in his debut with fucking Orolbai. It's a tough fight. So, not really, and he's kind of a killer-be-killed fighter, so it's like, yes, he got subbed. It's kind of like Kyle Sakura, right? A lot of these guys from outside of the UFC who are really entertaining, and they're actual warriors, and they won't just sit on the ground and get fucking dominated for a whole fight and just give up. No, they're gonna try to get up, and if they get subbed, it is what it is, but they're gonna try to get up with all their ability. I love that from him. I love that from Kyle Sakura, and maybe that'll make this fucking stupid, bot-brained fucking bugs that are in the MMA community, these fucking idiots. This community's so stupid. I hate all of them. Maybe it'll make them be like, oh my god, Kai Takua got dubbed in 1 round. He's so bad. Or in 2 rounds. He's so bad. Tafik Musayev got dubbed in 1 round. He's so bad, man. No, that's just how they fight. It's a different style than guys who are willing to just sit on bottom for an entire fucking fight. Like an embarrassment to the fucking sport. You're not a warrior if you do that. But, yeah. Rough debut, and he's not the youngest, so I wouldn't be surprised if he literally just came into the UFC for the Azerbaijan show and then he dips. I would not be surprised. But if he stays around, Thiago Moises, right? We're not going to be given Tafik Musayev fucking, like, just like some super hot prospect at lightweight who's going to, like, no, we're not going to be doing that. Tafik Musayev is a very respected guy from his work outside of the UFC and Ryzen and Bellator, and he took a really hard debut. Give him a bit of a lay back. Thiago Moises got slept out cold by Jared Gordon. It seems like his career is all but over. Getting slept out cold by Jared Gordon. That shouldn't happen, right? No matter who you are. Jared Gordon's an awesome fighter. I don't want to disrespect Jared Gordon, but he's not a fucking one-punch KO guy. And that is what happened against Thiago Moises. So, yeah, probably just another loss, brutal loss for Thiago Moises. But, hey, that's kind of the point. Well, I want to get Tafik Musayev some wins because he's a really cool fighter. So, yeah. Ignacio Bahamondes. Rough performance. I'm not going to lie. He had a rough one against Rafael Fiziev. Some weird IQ blunders. It kind of reminded me of the Ludovic Klein performance a little. Some weird IQ blunders. Some horrible grappling where he just, like, gives up straight up. He just gives up position. Goes for shitty, like, guillotines at a shitty, like, throws his legs up for some type of threat, but he does just give up bottom position in a really embarrassing way. Throwing just really bad spinning back kicks that don't make any fucking sense to why you should be throwing them. I don't know. It was rough. I'm not going to lie. It was a rough showing from Bahamondes. No shame in losing to Fiziev, but he just looked bad. And this is why you got to watch the fights and not just look at the aftermath. Like, no shame in losing to Fiziev, but actually, he didn't look good, man. So, rough showing. Gonna give him Ludovic Klein. No bounce backs at this area of lightweight, right? This unranked area is just a fucking shark's den or whatever, wolf's den. It's so stacked. It's everyone's good. No layups, right? We're not going to give you a Bobby Green. Not to say Bobby Green or Jim Miller or Jared Gordon is a layup, but it's a harder fight than Myktybek Klein. Because that's just how it is. Maybe if he loses this, then we start talking about those matchups. But for now, he only just lost his, shot at the rankings, and same with Myktybek Klein. Have them fight each other, and the winner of this can maybe look at like another one of those top guys, like a Rebecca or something, because there's just so many of them at lightweight. So, and this is also just an interesting stylistic matchup that already happened. I'm fucking brain dead. I was just talking about this fight. You know what? Fuck it, dude. Rematch. Rematch. Okay, dude? Fuck it. I'm actually so stupid. I just referenced this fight. I just referenced Ignacio Bahamondes versus Myktybek Klein, and then I was like, fuck it. Make the fight. Rematch, bro. All right? Rematch, all right? Fuck. This video's cooked. I'm already at 20 minutes, too. Just ignore that, then. Just ignore that happened. Rafael Fiziev looked really good, actually. He did. He looked improved. Honestly, his mid and long-range striking definitely looked improved. He looked a little faster than he did in the Gaethje fight. His boxing looked great. His takedowns, he's taking people down. It's fun. Yeah, he looked great. I'm just trying to get to it, all right? Michael Chandler, you saw it in the thumbnail. I don't know. I think this is a fun fight. Do I hate it for Chandler, bro? Do I hate giving Chandler, like, a fun matchup? Do I want to just give Chandler fucking Grant Dawson or Mateusz Rebecki? Maybe I do, all right? But I don't think that's fair. No, I don't think that's fair. I think this is fun, and I think this is more realistic, right? Fiziev is kind of in the loop now, right? That he's fought Gaethje twice. He defended his spot against Bahamondes. Was he thinking about going down to featherweight, and might he still go down to featherweight? Yes, but I think he's going to wait till he loses at lightweight. And I think if he beats Bahamondes and then puts a little run together, beats Chandler, oh, look, he has something going at lightweight. Then if he loses again, he might move down to featherweight. That's besides the point. This is a fun fight. This is probably what the UFC is going to do. I hate it for Chandler, but I love it for Fiziev. So, boom, there we go. Jamal Hill, depressing, sad, awful, horrible. I was a Jamal Hill fan. I really was. I really liked him coming up. I liked him, and I think he's just lost it, man. In every form. Mentally, I think he's lost it. He doesn't seem like he's in the fights as much. Physically, he doesn't seem as fast. I think the injuries really fucked him up. Not only the really brutal Achilles injury that he suffered, but re-injuring it. Getting knocked out, re-injuring it, getting another injury after he got knocked out by Pereira, coming back, getting dropped a bunch and knocked out by JIRI, getting another injury, coming in against Khalil not that long after the JIRI fight. It's tough with Hill, man. It's tough. It's tough to see because he was a really fun presence in the light heavyweight division. He was a fun fighter, and it seems like he's totally lost it. I wouldn't be crazy surprised if he retired. He's only 34, which isn't old for it's about average age for light heavyweight here, but I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like there's much left for Hill. It doesn't seem like he can beat the top guys because I don't think Rountree is a top guy. I don't think he's one of those guys. I don't think he's one of those JIRI, Pereira, Ankalaev level guys. And Hill just got shut down, totally shut down. He doesn't look like his head's in the game, and it looks like his body's kind of giving out on him as we get later. It looks like his body is giving out more and more and more, especially in this fight. So I'm going to do him versus, if he sticks around and doesn't retire, Krylov versus Guskov. This fight is happening, I believe, in August or some shit, August or September. And yeah, I think Hill should take some time off, fight the winner of this fight sometime next year, maybe January, February of next year, if he's going to continue fighting. Because, I don't know, just recover, but I don't know if recovery is the answer anymore. That's the tough thing with Jamal Hill. I don't know if recovery is the answer at this point because I feel like his body's just done. Brutal injuries, bad recovery, re-injuries, getting knocked out, getting those concussions. It's rough to see. So if he chooses to stay around, just take a little bit of time off, fight the winner of this. I think it's winnable. Khalil Rountree, winner of the main event. I'm just going to get to the matchup because you've seen it in the thumbnail, but I do want to talk about Khalil a little because I am not as high on Khalil as a lot of people. I just don't think he's very good, man. I don't know. I do think he's better. I do think he's clearly improved. There's no doubting that. But I still think there's so many questions, but maybe we can still just say holes in the grappling. There's those. His striking is just mid. How the fuck did he not finish Hill? I'm sorry, but Dude, Hill was done after the second round. His legs were gone. Period. Like, he didn't have a base to stand on. And even he was still stunning Khalil with shots every once in a while while he didn't have a base to stand on. I don't know with Khalil, man. He doesn't move me. He doesn't move me at all. But he's a super violent, fun fighter outside of this fight and, like, some of his other fights where he's kind of had some stinkers. He's a really fun fighter. And this is just a guaranteed fucking banger. JIRI is going to move forward. He isn't going to be like Hill, who was just kind of plodding and not really throwing and just not decisive and, instantly injured from instantly buckled from the leg kicks. Like, that's not what JIRI is going to be. This is just a dream matchup, right? That's exactly what this is. This is a dream matchup. Awesome fight. And if they announce this, which I hope they do, I don't want to see JIRI Oberg fucking, I don't know. Fuck Oberg. I don't know, man. Fuck Oberg. Do, what's his name? Do Pereira Ankalaev 2 and do this as, like, the co-main event to Pereira Ankalaev 2. That's literally perfect. So, yeah. I don't know. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will have the rankings and ratings update coming out maybe before Tuesday because we're on a pay-per-view week, and as you know, those other YouTubers love to upload shit for the pay-per-view as early as possible. So I'm going to try to get out that rankings and ratings probably before the rankings come out. So just a ratings update. Goodbye.